Hello and welcome to talking about cross stitch with me, the Stitching Owl. It is officially Flossmas number 14, and in London, Ontario, we are having quite the cold day. We did have a few days where it went above zero, so our snow has receded a bit, but if we drive in certain directions, they have no snow at all. We have no idea if we will have a green or a white Christmas. Now, what are we in for today? Well, let's talk Advent. I only have 4 patterns to discuss today, but as I go along, I'm going to be explaining how I used these 4 patterns in the I Spy Challenge. For each thing that I discuss, I expect myself to put in 200 stitches. And it does work out that I'm expecting to have all of these 4 done by Christmas Day, but we'll see because life can happen. So I'm first going to talk about the Nordic Countdown, which is a project of Evertote, Modern Folk Embroidery, and of course, the marvelous Carrie of Roxy Floss Co. And this is our postcard today, and you can see that it definitely is about embroidery. So today is a very special day because Jacob is going to talk about Nordic embroidery on his Flossmas. I think it is one we all need to watch. He is such a knowledgeable person on this topic. Now, Lisa and I have been puzzled for quite some time about the fact that there's lots of reds and some greens, some grays, but no blues. We finally got blue, and the floss we have is How Do You Blue? Hannah, your naming of these flosses is amazing. And this is the lovely blue. You can see gentle modeling. So the variation in it is there enough for texture, but not so much to give wild striping. And if we want to just look at the full palette, there we go. Yes, this is one of the few times I'm actually using one of these flexible rings to keep track of my Roxy floss. Now, I'm going to admit that when I was looking at what to do for today's stitching, I was puzzled for quite some time and had to ask for help from my youngest. It was clear where the blue color was going to be, but it said at the bottom there was going to be 82 crosses of day 13 color. Now I ended up not choosing day 13, and after watching Caroline's Evertote video, it turns out it was a miscount. It's 84. We hunted and hunted, and just as we were about to give up, and I literally would have texted Caroline going, where are those things? Derica found them. So here is today. So you can see the How Do You Blue is right here. And by the looks of the chart, we have another 30 stitches area under here. The other stitches that we put in are the designs in the cheerleader's sweater and skirt. Now they were to be pink, but I ended up choosing to use this mauvey color. I believe it was day 8. So we are waiting for heads, we're waiting for centers of flowers. We don't know what's going to be here, and of course, below here we have no idea what Jacob is going to come up with. But it's coming along nicely, and as one of the other Flosstubers said, I think it was Andrew the Runner Stitcher, we already have 14 colors in here, 14 colors of floss, and yet Jacob has made it very cohesive. It would also work as a monochromatic because Jacob's pieces do work well that way. Now, in the I Spy challenge, I'm using Modern Folk Embroidery for something geometric, because these moments in here are quite geometric, and indeed these leaves could be thought of as two triangles. So something geometric, Modern Folk Embroidery. Now my other Advent countdown is the banner by Tiny Modernist, and yesterday we had a lovely little dove, and when I saw what we were to stitch for today, I was just so charmed and thought, of course Cheryl did this. Look at that. Mrs. Claus is on the other side of the sleigh, and look at those darling glasses she popped on her, and there's a top knot. It's just so adorable. So I'm going to pan back. This is what he looks like so far. Clearly we've got 1, 2, possibly 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, we've got enough space there to do another 10, possibly 11, because there could be something of a row underneath here. I think I was safe when I cut the material to this size. Now, I was able to use my Tiny Modernist for a number of prompts. Now, the I Spy challenge is created by Laura of Stitching by the Shore, and I have fun doing this. So something with green, clearly this could happen. It's here. The letter D, a dove. Something you would see at a festival, colored lights. Favorite things. For me, one of my favorite moments of the year is the trimming of the Christmas tree. And indeed, we have a Christmas tree with baubles on it. Something that would keep you warm would be this cup of hot cocoa. And colors of a candy cane. We've got this candy cane right there on the Tiny Modern. So this one fulfilled a lot of the prompts, and I do believe there are enough stitches in this that in using that many, I've got the stitches covered if I try and do 200 for each prompt. I must admit, this is a paper copy, and I'm not truly counting, but seriously, I do think I've got the number covered. Now, yesterday I did not have a lot of time to give to the Christmas gathering, a free pattern by Erica of Fibers and Floss. In conjunction with her December floss tube, which is A Stitcher's 12 Days of Christmas. Now, so I compensated and did extra, well, between 3 and 5 this morning. So here we are. So yesterday I had done this and I continued that border. It does continue down. I got in the squirrel, the oak leaves, and the word Mary. So this is the edge over here. So I'm really well on the way here. This is 40 count Verdal, and I'm using one strand of a JP Coates deep red. Now, I could see this also as hunter green. You could do it in black and it would be quite effective, or you could choose a dark material and do this in a white. So there's so many options. I'm looking at this border and thinking that it's a little bit like a quilt, because this is like an Ohio star, but it's also like a geometric poinsettia. So, I mean, I suppose I could have used these for geometrics as well. And in here, I, of course, use this for something from a Hallmark movie because we've got a house in here. And I think that is how I used this particular pattern. Yes. Now, when it came to the Modern Folk Embroidery at Cozy Christmas, I did continue on, and you can see that there is a border here. This is the bottom, but it does not match the top. I was wrong when I stated that it would look like it was going to be like that. Once I got into it, this is definitely not the same. Now on this one, this is the one that I did fewer stitches on. I only put in 2 strands, and that was enough to get that much done. Because I'm doing a 1 strand on 22 count, I can get over 50 stitches in a single strand. I'm now at 86% done on this. Of course, all of Modern Folk Embroidery patterns go into Pattern Keeper with great ease. So 22 count hardanger with, this is the variegated number 115 DMC floss. Now for this one, something with words, I could actually have used the Merry Christmas on either one of these. And of course there's a house here, so it could have been the Hallmark movie there as well. And these could have been geometric. So many of Laura's prompts you can look at in many ways. And in this case, I don't think I'm stretching my point. So those are my 4 stitches for today. The only other prompt that was on Laura's list was something that sparkles. And I will say that the lettering of the words peace, love, and joy on my baubles of Textilly Spirit of Christmas, it was this one. I'm not showing you anything new today, but the way I did the words in the gold diamante, those sparkle. So I think I have actually fulfilled all of the I Spy prompts for Laura. Now at this point, I grabbed something else. I discovered that yesterday the little package that I chose was actually one from Lisa for City Stitching, and she was pleased that I really loved the coloring of my jug and that it was going to be put to use for sure. So I picked something from a different bag, and I loosened some of the tape so there wouldn't be a horrendous amount of rustling as I was doing this. So I just took this off, and okay. Gutermann, simply the best thread in Canada. Okay, this is what I've got, and it was folded over. It's a snag fixer. Ah, how lovely. These are to help you get rid of the fluff after you've had to frog something and to pull through to the other side. Anything that is just being stubborn with your basic needle. I do not have any of that. Thank you to whoever of my 4 people that gave me this. Definitely used. Ah, that's cool. I honestly had no clue what it was initially. In my moment of thanks today, I am going to say I am thankful for curiosity. We all know that we are watching the 2 curious crafters, Carolyn and Anna, who stay curious throughout their life, and I believe they are better teachers because of it. When we are curious, we seek learning, and when we learn, we continue to grow. I love how the different Flosstubers are curious about using different flosses changing around different areas of a pattern. If we watch Contented Needleworker Kim, she takes things out, she puts things in, she will actually put a couple of patterns together. That's using your curiosity to personalize what you're doing. And I just think that when somebody remains curious through their life, they become a lifelong learner. And how much better use of our brain could we have? So I'm thankful for curiosity. Now, yesterday in my moment for music, yes, everybody was identifying the Silent Night. The trick was that the other piece, some of you might have said was vaguely familiar because it's been used in many car commercials. It was actually Clair de Lune by Debussy and is an absolutely exquisite piece that I will practice for a while and then someday you will hear as my moment for music. Today's music, and I've got to think about, oh yes. So today's piece is actually a reasonably well-known hymn, but maybe not the top 20. It originated in French, and I consider it a lovely melody in its simplicity. So please enjoy. And here we are at the end of day 15. Thank you for joining me. I am so blessed to have you playing along with Name That Tune, stitching with me in the background, and just the whole process of doing my Flossmas and my floss tubes. It does keep me curious. It keeps me happy. And thank you for joining me in that journey. Bye-bye for now.